Big story. Take you back to Saturday in Champaign. Championship game of the Big Ten softball tournament came down to the number 1 versus number 2 seeds. Northwestern, Indiana. Hoosiers had a 1-0 lead on an unearned run going in to the bottom of the 7th. Danielle Williams, again, fantastic inside the circle. The tournament's most outstanding player. And then the Cats do what they have done all year long, coming back in dramatic fashion. Maeve Nelson with the walk-off winner, 2-1, as Northwestern backs up its regular season title with the championship title as well. And the big interview welcomes head coach Kate Drohan into the show. Coach, first and foremost, congratulations, because it is awfully hard, some would say nearly impossible, to win both the Big Ten regular season and tournament titles. Has the glow worn off yet?
Thank you, Rick, and thanks for having me on. Yeah, it was a real challenge, especially with the strength of the conference this year. Top to bottom, I think the conference was really talented and played really, really tough throughout the year. But our team's excited. This was a big goal for us coming in, and I love the resiliency to be able to make it happen.
All right, take me to the bottom of the 7th. You have 1 run to force extras, 2 to win it. Now, I know a lot of the players on your team have been through this, not just this year, but the veterans have been in basically every situation you could be in throughout the course of their careers. But I looked at their faces. Nobody seemed to be feeling pressure. Nobody seemed to be showing any nerves. What did you see?
You know, it was interesting. We started the game a little tight, and we could feel that in the dugout. We're just trying to get them, in our rhythm and for us to play our game. The 6th inning, we had an opportunity to score. We didn't come through. And then when the 7th, we got out of the jam in the top of the 7th inning. I think they had a leadoff double, and we got out of it. Then we really kind of felt our team start to come around. Jordan Rudd led us off with her staple 5-6 ground ball through, and you could just feel the belief really start to build in our dugout.
For all the success that you've had, especially in recent years, this is the first time the program has won the double, both the regular season and then the tournament title. Again, kind of going to your point about just how deep this league is and has been in recent years, how tough is it to pull something like that off?
Well, I think it's a huge challenge. I think that you've really got to respect every single game during the regular season, and our team showed up every day, and I'm so proud of their approach. But then this tournament, I think this tournament going into it, it was open. It was up for grabs for anyone. Indiana is so good, and they have such an offensive punch. And I was really impressed with Copeland on the mound. But our team we were resilient. A lot of belief in each other, a lot of belief in the game. And there were a lot of little things that we did in the bottom of the 7th that were critical and really good softball that put us in a position to win that game.
And obviously the game-winning hit comes off the bat of Maeve Nelson. For those of us, and I think that means most of us, who have never been in a situation where you're playing a high-level college game and you're in that situation that you all dream of in your backyard. Bottom of the last inning, you need 2 runs to win it. What's the emotional release like when it all sinks in and you realize what you've accomplished?
Well, you mentioned Maeve Nelson. We have tremendous belief in her, and I love Maeve's approach to the game. She's kind of has an old school belief in the game. You know, her mom was a great volleyball competitor at Iowa. Her dad's a big baseball guy. So she was really, really calm in the moment. And Maeve's a person who has never shortchanged the game, never takes a shortcut. And so we had a lot of confidence with her in that moment. But once she made contact, we knew the game was over. It's just making sure everybody gets to the next base, and then you get to Maeve as fast as you can.
Maeve is one of 12 players on this year's roster, and I can't name all of them, but players like Danielle Williams, Jordan Rudd, Nikki Cochran, and others who are listed as either seniors or grad students in terms of eligibility. Is it possible, and how could you possibly quantify or describe what that group has meant to this program?
Wow. I mean, to the program, to the Big Ten in general, to me personally, I mean, they have impacted our game in our university on so many levels, and I'm so proud of the growth that they've had in the last 5 years, and really their commitment, their loyalty. They have literally given everything they could possibly give to our program, and I'm excited about the position that we've all worked for and what now lies ahead.
Danielle Williams is named the most outstanding player of the Big Ten tournament. 14 innings, doesn't allow a single earned run. And I know, Kate, that you've been asked about her a lot. I'm always interested because you always try to point out in those interviews as good a player, as good a pitcher as she is, that she's an even better person. You always talk about her and how special she is off the field as well. What makes her special as a person, not just as a player?
Well, I've known Danielle since she was a kid. Her older sister, Krista, was an outfielder for us. So it's been really fun to watch her grow up. Her kindness, her steadiness, just what a great teammate she is and how good she is to those people in her life. She's tremendous, and I have so much respect for her. And, I think the calmness and the steadiness that you see on the field, she's just so consistent, so true to herself, and so true to her friendships. We're just so blessed to have her be a part of our program.
Kate, I spoke with her last year, and the one thing she really didn't want to talk about at all was herself. She has to be among the most humble athletes, especially athletes that are that good that you've ever coached.
She is, when you have a pitcher of that caliber with that kind of selfless attitude and approach, and the only thing she cares about is getting a win for her team, it inspires and improves the play of every other person in the dugout. So, and she now models the behavior and leads our team in really playing that kind of selfless softball. And so what that's done is it's really taught our team to understand the little things. Like, for example, Nikki Cochran, right? Bottom of the seventh, she gets to an 0-2 count really quickly with runners on second and third. She works the count to get a walk. And when you've got our first team all Big Ten player having an at-bat like that, not expanding the zone and understanding how important that base is, that's what really good softball is all about. And that's the kind of softball that I love watching our team play this year.
And as we watched your team play, we saw obviously veterans making veteran plays, but we also saw younger players, even first years, having a big time impact. And a few weeks ago, we had Jordan Rudd on the show, and Jordan talked about how blown away she was, that when the freshmen came in, there was no wide-eyed look. They felt like they belonged, but not in a cocky way, in a comfortable way, and it really led to what she described as almost a seamless integration between the younger players and the veterans. How did that appear from the coaching perspective?
It was really fun. Our freshmen came onto campus with an incredible amount of excitement, and they were really proud to be part of the program. And they brought with them kind of a carefree attitude of, oh yeah, let's go play softball together. And our fifth years, admittedly battled kind of some expectations early on. So I think they really helped each other out in terms of our fifth years sharing their experience and really mentoring our young women. And then our three freshmen really stepping up and learning very quickly and also being very open. So you have that. I think it was a great combination for us early on. And it's been a real strength for us.
Kate, you already mentioned how good Indiana was this year, one of the better stories, not just in the Big Ten, but certainly with Taryn Kern, one of the best players in the country as a freshman. That was a great story nationwide. Minnesota got red hot at the end of the year. Nebraska makes it 4 teams into the NCAAs from the Big Ten this year. Just how good is this league in 2023?
I think it's awesome. I am so proud of our conference. I think there are a lot of really good Big Ten teams that we won't see next weekend as well. So I'm really proud of our body of work. I think a lot of our teams challenged themselves really early with a really competitive non-conference schedule, and that really showed us how strong we were down the stretch here.
As the number 12 overall seed, one of the bonuses is that you get to host regionals this weekend. You start NCAAs against Eastern Illinois, Kentucky, Miami, Ohio, also in that quad in Evanston, Illinois. When's the true prep work start for you guys?
Last night. We're building our scouts. Our team will get after it today, but we have a lot of really good teams, a lot of really well-coached teams coming into our region this weekend, a lot of great offensive power. So our team is excited about the challenge ahead.
All right, Kate, I'm sure it's friendly competition, but I want to know what the competition level is like on your own campus when you start to talk about the spring sports and the women's spring sports in Evanston. Obviously, your program, Coach Fletcher's golf program, has been successful for so long. You have Coach Monty Hiller's team, the number 1 overall seed in the women's lacrosse tournament. What is that like to be on that campus with all these programs at the same time doing what they're doing?
I think it gives our team tremendous momentum. You have a lot of different student athletes across campus experiencing the same thing. They're all high achievers. They've worked really, really hard all year to put themselves in this position. So there's great momentum right now with our women's team. And quite honestly, a lot of our teams throughout the year have really executed on a high level. And that's what our standards are all about. So I think that's a big push for our team, and we'll be cheering them on for sure.
Big Ten regular season champs, Big Ten tournament champs, and now one goal left for the Northwestern softball team. It begins this Friday, hosting the regionals at Drysdale. Coach Kate Drohan, kind enough to be with us on today's edition of Big Ten Today. Kate, we appreciate the time. Of course, wish you and the team the best of the luck in the run through the NCAAs.
Thank you, Rick. Thanks for having me on, and go Cats.
Mention those 4 teams from the Big Ten playing in the NCAAs. Of course, Northwestern leading the way. They're the number 1 seed in that Evanston region. Indiana and Minnesota are 2 seeds respectively. Indiana playing in Knoxville, where Tennessee is the host. Minnesota is in the Pacific Northwest. And Nebraska in Stillwater as the number 3 seed, where Oklahoma State is the host.